Hi, I'm Kerry Howard, and I'm just introducing you to what it looks like when you want to open up PsychNEXUS. So I just want to show you where we go when we want to open up a PsychNEXUS window. So I'm going to go to Google Chrome, and what we have here is the PsychNEXUS URL. So we're just going to, if you've got that in a link, it can be a good one to store in your bookmarks, but you just sign into the account here. So as you can see, PsychNEXUS is actually made with Zoom, so we're a private silo that's hosted within Zoom. And the reason that we've done this is because it's the only way that we can ensure that we can maintain HIPAA compliance, and that's the most secure way that we can manage to have our information on a live platform, that we can ensure that we can maintain our clients' privacy and confidentiality while we're consulting with them online. Anything less than a fully HIPAA compliant platform, you're taking a risk that that information can be intercepted. So it's really important that we don't do that. I just wanted to show you, so there's a couple of ways that we can set up a meeting. So I can literally go and just, if I wanted to have a meeting right now this minute, I can literally go in and host a meeting with video on. So if I do that, it's immediately just going to take me to the meeting browser. It's saying join the meeting. It's opening everything up for me. It says, do I want to join with computer audio? I say yes, and it's now, as you can see, showing you that I can see now my face because it's showing you my camera. What I can do is then click down to invite, and if I wanted to, I could share an invite via email. I'm going to copy the invitation. The invitation's been copied to the clipboard. I could go to my Gmail, and depending on which one, it's going to just automatically open whatever Gmail account is associated with my account, okay? So, or in your case, it would just automatically go to yours if that's the case. Now, I'm just going to step you back because if we go back to my meetings and I decide that I want to actually schedule a new meeting, I'm just going to go in here to schedule a new meeting, and then I can set up a time. Now, what I tend to do here is I say if I'm meeting with somebody, so I'm going to be meeting with Con, and I'm going to just put his appointment in here. I'm just going to say this is a PsychNEXUS online meeting, online appointment actually in this case. I'm going to schedule it for whenever I want to schedule it for. In this case, I'll just make it 4 o'clock. You can change the time zone, so when you set it up as a user, you update your user profile, you can make your time zone whatever it is that you want. The standard default duration as well is another one of those things that you can have a look at. And if they were recurring at the same time, like you wanted to set up group supervision or some other multiple people call, you can do that in a recurring meeting. Registration, whether or not registration is required or not, I tend to not make that happen for clients, but I do make it so that the video is automatically on. So I'm going to click on them here to make it on. I'm just going to choose computer audio because I don't let people call in by telephone unless I thought they were going to be in some very remote area and they couldn't get access to it. I'm not going to use the personal meeting ID because that means that that's one room that anybody who wants to join it can come in, and I don't want to do that. We want to be able to keep them separate, so we're going to enable meeting rooms, so enable waiting room so that people can come in and they'll be sitting there waiting when I come. And it depends on who I'm working with whether or not I record the meeting automatically. Some people, if the information that we're working with is highly sensitive or may turn out to end up being on a part of a legal process or something like that, then they're the clients that I would automatically record the meeting for. And we hit save, and what that does then is it just produces a number of appointments, and it gives me these options for how to add them. So I could add to, if I had a Google Calendar that I was using for my clients, I could add it to Google Calendar or Outlook or Yahoo or any of the above. Then it's going to give me an automatic different ID. So it's not using my personal meeting ID, which is this one here. it's using a special encrypted ID and it's got a special meeting ID number. And so then we can copy that invitation. My personal assistant does this when we've got clients who I'm meeting with online. She will automatically pick this up, change that to say, hi Con, here is your scheduled appointment, and she'll copy that into an email and send it out to the client. When I come in then to see my meetings, because once it's done, then you'll see that you come in and your list is here. So because my PA comes and sets them up, I just have to log into the account and then I can see all of my meetings there. Once I do that and I click into the appointment and it says I just choose start, and then that window comes up and it offers me that opportunity to join the meeting. I say join with computer audio, and then I'm just going to sit here and wait because my client will join the meeting shortly. For the purposes of this demonstration, just briefly, I'm going to connect to a call that I've already got open, and then I'm going to get Con to actually connect to the call on the other side, and you'll see both what it looks like from my screen and also what it looks like from Con's screen. So what you're seeing here is actually just my screen as it appears through PsychNEXUS. Now, I've already sent the invitation to the client on the other side, so now I'm just going to get the client to connect to the call, and you'll see that they receive a link like this in their email, or I can even send that link via an SMS code to them if that's the easier way to use it. And I'm just going to get that connection coming through any minute. So I'm already in the call, and when the client connects in, it just pops the client up and you'll hear that window. So now I'm just waiting for the client to join the call. I've actually clicked on the call and you can see over here to my right. And then what we have on the other side is that the screen, the video camera is actually turned off. So the client needs to be able to turn the video camera on. So Con, if you can turn your video on, and you might want to turn your volume down a little bit. So when the client comes in, you can see that the Manage Participants window actually comes up to 2. Hi Con. So I actually can't hear you. Is your mute on as well? So down the bottom of the screen on the left hand side, you've got a microphone and a video button side by side. If they have a red line through them, and I'll just show you, I'm going to mute me for a minute. See, then it comes up with this red line over the top and it tells me that I'm muted. So the other thing that happens sometimes is that we forget that we actually may have the screen audio turned down. So that's a couple of things to just kind of look out for. So Con, thank you. And if this was a normal consultation, and it's not, because you're just helping me out. If this was a normal consultation, this is just the standard as if, you and I are in the same room. What's good about this is that I can see an image of myself at the top if I need to, but if I didn't want to do that, I can actually enter full screen. So, and then what happens is when I'm looking at you as the client fully, which is what I want to be able to do. You can do the same. Now, in a normal consultation where I just want to have a conversation with you, this is a good mode to do it in, and there's the image of my camera, what's coming from my camera over to the side of the screen. But if I want to share something else with you, which we'll do shortly, then I can do a different share screen mode. But just so that people can hear that you can still get good audio and that sort of thing, you're at home, you're on your laptop, everything's
good. Yep, you can clearly see clearly.
All right. So hi Con, thank you. And I just wanted to check a couple of things. So just at your end, making sure that you can see me clear enough and you can hear me okay.
Yes.
And just being able to have that normal conversation about anything that's, been going on for you since the last session, or any kind of updates, and just recognizing that this just operates really simply in live time. If I just want to show people a couple of things that I can share with you via a share screen. Now, in this case, if I wanted to show you something and I wanted to draw something with you, I can actually just use the whiteboard, and I can just use my, drawing element here, and I just want to say, if I want to draw something, I can just draw it here, and I want to be able to show that we can see that on your screen as well. Yes. So you can see it. We can just clear it if there was, much the same as if you were in your office with a client and you wanted to be able to draw something for them or demonstrate something for them. You can do that. You'd be able to use a touchpad on your computer, or you can use your mouse as I've just done. There are a number of other drawing apps that you would also be able to use in this space if that was something that you were really keen to do. We can clear all the drawings then from here, or I could have saved it if I wanted to, and it would give me the option of where I want to save it. So it's actually saved it, and it's showing me I'm on a Mac, so it's actually showing where I can find that within my system. So if I want to stop sharing the whiteboard with you, I can just click on the stop share, and that's done. If I wanted to just chat with you, so say we made a connection, Con, and just for argument's sake, I find that you're muted. So can you just mute your own button for a minute for me? Because I just want to demonstrate what happens when you mute. So you've muted using the button on the screen on Zoom, like in PsychNEXUS itself down the bottom there on the left-hand side. Yep, so now you're muted. I actually can't hear you. And if I wanted to check that message, I'm going to say, can you check your microphone? Now you can hear me, but I just want to be able to see that chat message comes up on the right hand side of the screen. You can see that same chat message. Can you just type a response back for me, Con, please, just so that we can see what happens when you put a message in there? So the little chat window down the bottom, you can just click on the chat and you can just type a small message in there. Now, the other thing that's important to notice is that there's options here. I can allow the person who I'm talking to only chat with me, or if I was in a group chat, say we wanted to do group consultation or some sort of group supervision, or I can actually get them to chat with everybody, or it can be the host only. And because within PsychNEXUS you can have up to 100 people in a call, that's a really useful feature to be able to use. So I'm just going to close this one. And the other thing that's important to note in here is this record button. So I've just hit record, and I just wanted to notice, so Con, you should be able to see on your side that it's telling you that I'm recording you, right? So in the window, it should just bring up a little button up on the top left hand side, and it just says says it's recording. Yep. And the other thing, just note next to that, there's a little lock window. I don't know if you can see that, but for me it says, it's using end-to-end encrypted connection. So this is the bit that's really important to understand about working on a HIPAA compliant platform, that it's actually really important that this is kept secure. So I can actually stop the video if I want to. If I didn't want Con to be looking at my face necessarily right now, I can stop the video, and then it's just going to be giving a picture of me, and that's all Con will see on the other side as well. I can start my video again if I want to. I can invite somebody into the call. Now I can just do it by copying the invitation or copying the URL, and if I do the copy invitation, it puts it into an email. If I do copy URL, it'll copy it to the clipboard. And if I've got people already in here within my email service or anything like that, I can just pick up Gmail and I can send it directly out through my Gmail account. I can show people the meeting ID, which this one is directly. And I'm going to show you in a little moment just how to set up those invitations so that you can make sure that you don't get more than one person in a call at any given time. I can manage the participants, so I can see Con on here. I can mute him or unmute him. I can turn his video on or off, and the same for me. And also I can do other things like share. Alright, so if I don't want to necessarily see the participants anymore, I can just close that window out and I can stop recording my screen, and I can say thanks Con for your help, and we can end the call, and I will see you later on. And then I'm going to end the meeting for all, and then it's telling me that it's going to record the meeting recording that we've just done. Now, I rarely actually use meeting recording because, well, for a whole range of reasons, like I wouldn't necessarily record my client sessions. I don't usually record clients unless I believe that there's some legal reason that it would be beneficial to do so. And as you may understand, working with trauma clients, that's one of those things that if it might be helpful to actually record the session, it's very easy to be able to do that. Now, this is actually going to record and store it based on the information that I give it. And when it records, I can go in and I can specifically create the name of that file, and I can store it somewhere that's secure. And that makes it so that nobody else can get inside and view that recording, because as we know, the making sure that we keep the confidentiality and privacy requirements sorted out is also very important. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one here for a minute, and we're going to come back and I'll show you a couple of other bits of how this works. So the recordings actually come up and automatically put it into a folder that I've established that it should be recorded in. And you can see here it goes into the date, and then it's got those bits of information. Now, if I wanted to make sure that I knew which it was, because it's got all of the details about it, I might leave the date on there, but then I can just overtype that this is, the demonstration call for PsychNEXUS, and I'm going to be able to keep that there with the date still in date order, and that will just stay in the background. Now, one of the last things I just want to show you is what happens if you've come out of a meeting for the day. You're not necessarily, you've just got the Zoom Pro account window up on the right hand, in my case the right hand side of the screen. So if I just leave it open and it's just sitting there in the background, I can at any time just click in to start with video, or join it, or schedule a meeting, or share a screen, or whatever. I can see my meetings from within there. I can actually share my meeting ID quickly. If I've got, you can see, I can see what's upcoming for today, what appointments I'm going to have. It will show a list of all my contacts, so I can put my company contacts in there, but I can also import favorites into here so that if I've got clients who I regularly see online, I can put them in here. That makes it a little bit easier for me. And then if there's any chats. So whenever that's sitting up and I'm logged in, then I don't have to concern myself with needing to go back to, because we've got Zoom open, I don't have to go back in through Google Chrome to do it. So I think that gives you a really good overview of working out how it is that we work with PsychNEXUS when we're working with clients online, and understanding how any other tools that we use can operate within the same space.